Welcome to the first in a new Tactica series here on my channel. I am Countillery and this is First Look Tau Empire. This video is a brief overview of everything we know so far about the upcoming Tau Empire Codex, and we'll cover a bunch of stuff revealed by Games Workshop over on the Warhammer community page, and should hopefully give you some idea of what to expect in the new book, which is available to pre-order now over on the Games Workshop web store and is released on Saturday, March 17th. Also, if you do enjoy 40k as much as I do, you should definitely go check out our 40k podcast, Vox Chatter. We chat about the game, the latest hobby news, and have plenty of laughs together. Links are on screen now and in the description below. Now, on to our first look at Codex Tau Empire. Most new codexes in 8th edition 40k come with a range of army-wide faction rules to choose from when building your army, and Codex Tau Empire is no different. There will be a total of 6 factions to choose from, representing 5 of the major Sept worlds and the Farsight Enclaves, each with their own different tenets of warfare. It's not clear, however, if Sept tenets apply to all Sept units or if only certain unit types gain these benefits, such as infantry and battle suits. What we do know is they don't apply to Kroot and Vespid units. However, if Sept vehicles gain these special rules, then some of them are going to be really strong indeed. Now, the first of the Septs is the Empire's homeworld of Tau, the greatest of the Sept worlds. The warriors of the Tau Sept are rigorously drilled and fanatical in their defence of the greater good, making them superb defensive warriors. This is represented by their Sept tenant, Coordinated Fire Arcs. When a unit with this tenant uses their For the Greater Good ability, or when they fire Overwatch whilst they're within 6 inch of a friendly Tau Sept unit, a 5 or a 6 is required for a successful hit roll, irrespective of the firing model's ballistic skill or any modifiers. So this basically means whenever a Tau Sept unit fires at a charging enemy unit, they hit on a 5+ instead of 6+, which is a huge difference. Straight away, you're doubling your number of successful hits on Overwatch, which can be crippling to enemy assault units. Importantly, this rule does not specify another unengaged Sept unit, so even when their comrades are being overwhelmed, these stalwart defenders will still lay down a hail of fire at oncoming enemies. If Tau Sept vehicles also gain this benefit, then they're going to be really scary to charge, especially as they all have the fly keyword, and will just float away and shoot you again in their turn anyway. Between overwatching on a 5+ and having fly, you're going to have to consider whether it is even worth charging them, unless you expect to actually destroy them in that fight phase. While this is a very powerful special rule, it will be less effective against non-assault based armies, meaning it can be somewhat situational. While strong, I believe this falls into the rock, paper, scissors category of special rules. You know, it's like, did your opponent bring orcs? Great, have fun gunning them down as they charge in all day long. Or did they bring Imperial Guard? Overwatching on a 5+ means nothing when you're trading shots across no man's land all game. However, each Sept also has a unique stratagem available to it, and for the Tau Sept, this is the Focused Fire stratagem. Use this stratagem after a Tau Sept unit from your army inflicts an unsaved wound on an enemy unit in the shooting phase. You can add 1 to wound rolls for any other Sept units from your army that target the same enemy unit this phase. Now this is a ridiculously strong force multiplier, as every subsequent unit you fire with at the same target gains this benefit. That's every unit gaining +1 to wound until the target is dead, or you've run out of shooting. Even your basic fire warriors, armed with strength 5 weapons, will now be winning most enemy infantry on 2s. While 3 command points is a big investment, this is probably one of the most worthwhile ways to generate value from your command points. Every time you fire off this stratagem, you're all but guaranteeing the destruction of a key enemy unit that turn. This stratagem is probably one of the key selling points of picking Tau as your Sept tenant, especially if you plan on taking on a brigade or other list with plenty of command points to throw around. The second of the Empire Septs is the Bor-Kan Sept, who are renowned for their use of advanced and ingenious weapon prototypes, represented by their Sept tenant, Superior Craftsmanship. Models with this tenant may add 6 inches to the maximum range of any rapid fire and heavy weapons they are armed with. More range is always good and allows for better board control, as you can sit outside of optimal range for most other armies and outmatch them shot for shot. It also means your pulse rifles will be rapid firing at 18-inch range, which is great for outranging your opponent's infantry. This is a useful and well-rounded benefit that will come into play in most games, so as long as you haven't tooled up with too many assault weapons to make it redundant. The Bor-Kan unique stratagem is experimental weaponry. Use this stratagem when a Bor-Kan Sept unit from your army fires a ranged weapon that makes a random number of attacks, for e.g. heavy d6, heavy 2d6. You can re-roll one of the dice used to determine the number of attacks made. For 1 command point, this is not bad. Basically a command reroll by another name, allowing you to use an actual command reroll elsewhere in the shooting phase. Making your Riptide's Ion Accelerator more reliable is great, especially if you take a pair of Riptides and use both this stratagem and a Commander reroll to make sure they're both kicking out optimal shots. If you have several random shot weapons across your army, you'll probably want to be using this stratagem every turn. The next Empire Sept revealed is the Dalif, Masters of Ambush and Misdirection. They secure victory through use of their Sept Tenant Adaptive Camouflage. A unit of this tenant that does not Manta Strike, move, fall back, charge, pile in, or consolidate in its turn may claim the benefit of cover in the opponent's subsequent turn, even while in the open. So basically, if you don't move a Sept unit, it gains the benefit of cover in your opponent's turn. Seems good. Though this does restrict the manoeuvrability of the army. Now, I'm not a tower player myself, but it seems to me that the units that benefit most from this are also the units who want to be moving around the battlefield, like crisis teams and battlesuit commanders. And your more static units will be the ones already deployed in cover, like fire warriors and broadsides. I think it will take an experienced tower player to get the most out of this Sept tenant, but maybe there is a hidden strength here that I'm not seeing straight away. Another interesting aspect of the Dalif Sept is their unique warlord trait, Gunship Diplomat. Whilst within 12 inches of your Warlord, friendly Kroot and Vesper units gain the For the Greater Good ability. So this trait encourages inclusion of alien auxiliaries, who we know don't get the benefit of Sept tenants, which seems a little odd to me. Yes, gaining the Greater Good special is helpful for these units, but this limits them to supporting your Warlord. They should instead be on the front lines, screening your more valuable Sept units, and soaking up the charges themselves, not supporting them from afar with Overwatch. Dalif doesn't strike me as a great choice of Sept, but there may be strong list builds hidden away in the Codex we just aren't seeing yet. Next is a very different Sept indeed, the Viola Sept, whose warriors are known for their impetuous and aggressive tactics. Their preferred tactics are speed and flexibility, as represented by their Sept tenant, Strike Fast. If a unit with this tenant advances, it treats all rapid-fire weapons it is armed with as assault weapons until the end of the turn, e.g. a rapid-fire 1 weapon is treated as Assault 1. In addition, models with this tenant do not suffer the penalty to their hit rolls for advancing and firing assault weapons. So manoeuvrability is their greatest strength, and they are great for sprinting towards critical objectives while still keeping up a good rate of fire. If you take first turn with these guys, it can really help push your screening units further forward and still punish the enemy with some opening volleys. Battlesuits that want to keep their distance will find this useful, as they can fall back more efficiently and really keep out of reach of the enemy while still returning fire. Or, if you want to get right up in your opponent's face, the Viola unique stratagem will just be what you're looking for, Hot-Blooded. Use the stratagem at the start of your shooting phase. Pick a Viola Sept infantry unit from your army. That unit may be chosen to shoot twice this phase, but all models in the unit must target the closest enemy unit each time they do so. This stratagem is for when you really just need something dead, or when you're clearing screening units. Firing twice is good in any army, and doubly so for Tau. You do have to target the closest unit both times the unit fires, but this restriction is almost certainly why this fire twice strat is only 2 command points, making it really cheap for what it does. It is worth pointing out you don't have to shoot the same target both times, or even in succession. As long as you're shooting the nearest target each time, the unit is selected to fire that phase. So if the first volley destroys the target unit, the second volley will then shoot the next nearest unit, which means with the right tools you can easily clear 2 lightly armoured units in a single volley, such as Guardsman or Gretchen. And then finally, there are the rebellious warriors of the Farsight Enclaves. Known for their mastery of close assault, they have eschewed the leadership of the Ethereals, instead following the teachings of the legendary Commander Farsight. Teachings that are represented by their unique Sept tenant, Devastating Counterstrike, which allows them to reroll wound rolls of 1 for models of this tenant for shooting attacks against enemy units that are within 6 inches of the firing model. So these guys like to get up close and personal and hit where it really hurts. Army-wide rerolls without the need for a support character is great, even if you won't be using it every single time you fire a weapon. However, this will be amazing with any Fusion Blaster armed battlesuits, so that as it can make those half-range melter shots really count. It is worth noting, however, the distance is measured from each firing model, not firing unit, so only squad members within 6 inches of the enemy gain the reroll ones. It is also a shame this tenant won't come into effect on many Overwatch shots, as charging enemy units will typically be over 6 inch away. You can, however, run your screening units up to nearby enemies about to charge next turn, and close the gap yourself if it gets you within the 6 inches for your Overwatch. Each Sept also has a unique Warlord trait available to its commanders. For the Farsight Enclaves, this is Hero of the Enclaves. Your Warlord can perform a heroic intervention if they are within 6 inches of any enemy units after the enemy has completed all their charge moves. Your Warlord can move up to 6 inches when performing heroic intervention, so long as they end their move closer to the nearest enemy model. In addition, if your Warlord was charged, or performed a heroic intervention, then until the end of your turn you can reroll failed hit rolls made for them. Now, charging Tau characters into combat isn't something you typically see, so I assume this trait is intended more for Commander Farsight himself, so he can go to town swinging his Dawnblade to maximum effect. However, there is also a unique relic available to the Enclave characters that would benefit from this Warlord trait: the Fusion Blades. These blades can be taken by any Farsight Enclave model armed with 2 Fusion Blasters, and it replaces them. Fusion Blades fire a pair of Fusion Blaster shots at range, but also allow the wielder to make 2 attacks in combat with Fusion Blaster profiles. Not only will the Fusion Blades be really useful in game, but they also provide a great conversion opportunity, and I personally am looking forward to seeing the amazing conversions people come up with to represent this particular relic. Now, in addition to these Sept stratagems, there are a number of other powerful and interesting stratagems available to all Tau players, including Breach and Clear. Use this stratagem in your shooting phase before a Breacher team from your army shoots at an enemy unit that is receiving the benefit of cover. The Breacher team rerolls failed wound rolls against. For only a single command point, this seems like a solid stratagem, one you might find yourself using every turn if the core of your troops are Breacher teams instead of strike teams. It also works well with the Tau Sept Focused Fire stratagem, as it can either help ensure you inflict that important initial wound, or it really maximises the benefit of the +1 to wound bonus, especially if the target unit is taking cover on an important objective and you really need them dead that turn. The new Codex also features a number of battlesuit specific stratagems, including the new Branched Nova Charge stratagem for Riptides. Use this stratagem when you use a XV-104 Riptide Battlesuit's Nova Reactor. You may choose 2 effects from those listed rather than 1. Now this sounds like a go-to stratagem every Tau player will be reaching for each turn. Gaining both a 3+ invulnerable and increased firepower for just a single commander point, yes please. This feels like a huge incentive for list builders to include at least 1 Riptide in every Tau army, as you get a well-equipped and hard-to-kill unit that can fulfill a range of battlefield roles. I can also see a strong Borkan army list fielding 3 Riptides with ion accelerators and using Branch Nova Charge, experimental weaponry and command reroll stratagems to really increase the weight of fire from these units. With all these shots from your Riptides, you'll want to make sure they hit home, which is why it'll be a great idea to have a Battlesuit Commander nearby to support them. Not only will he likely provide a reroll 1s bubble to hit for them, but now he can also use the Command and Control Node stratagem. Use this stratagem at the start of your shooting phase, pick a Sept commander from your army. That commander may not shoot this phase, but 1 Sept Battlesuit unit from your army that is within 6 inches of that commander may reroll failed wound rolls this phase. So by sacrificing the opportunity to fire with your commander, he provides reroll all failed wounds to another Battlesuit unit. Good for buffing Riptides or large units of Crisis Battlesuits. Again, the Tau have another good stratagem that only costs a single command point. Tau players are going to be spoilt for choice when spending their command points. Another of the Battlesuit stratagems is Wall of Mirrors, which is used with an XV-95 Ghost Keel and a nearby unit of XV-25 Stealth Suits. Use this stratagem at the start of your movement phase. Pick a Sept XV-25 Stealth Battlesuits unit from your army that is within 6 inches of a Sept XV-95 Ghost Keel Battlesuit from your army. You may immediately remove the Stealth Battlesuits unit from the battlefield and set it up again anywhere within 12 inches of that Ghost Keel Battlesuit and more than 9 inches from any enemy models. Note that this does not count as falling back if the Stealth Battlesuits unit was within 1 inch of an enemy unit when it was removed. Another great 1 command point stratagem, allowing you to redeploy a unit of Stealth Suits out of harm's way. Importantly, you use this at the start of the movement phase, not the end, meaning that the Stealth Suit team gets to move again after being set up, adding a potential extra 12-inch threat range, and as they don't count as falling back, they can still charge that turn. When the Tau go to battle, they do so with unique and powerful relics, and in Codex Tau Empire, these are often advanced experimental technology or prototype weapons, such as the Ongar Gauntlet, a heavy-duty, one-punch power fist. The bearer can make 1 attack in combat with this weapon at strength 10, AP-4, and damage D6. While that 1 attack will certainly pack a punch, especially against enemy vehicles, this relic is only available to Battlesuit commanders, who typically avoid combat and keep their distance from the enemy. That said, in a Farsight Enclave you can create a hard-hitting combat unit with Commander Farsight and a pair of Battlesuit commanders, wielding the Ongar Gauntlet and the Fusion Blades. Although you would need to run at least 3 detachments to do this due to the new match play rules for commanders, which state, if you are playing a match play game, then in a Battleforged army you can include no more than 1 commander in each detachment. However, Battlesuit commanders will still be a popular choice in any Tau force, as they grant you access to a number of useful stratagems such as the Narrow Web Systems Jammer. Use the stratagem at the start of the enemy shooting phase. Pick an enemy unit that is within 18 inches of a Battlesuit commander from your army. Your opponent must subtract 1 from hit rolls made for that unit this phase. This is great for blunting an enemy firebase and making your commander more survivable if he plans on getting close to use flamers and fusion blasters. This strat can also target any unit type, so for only 2 command points you can really reduce the effectiveness of key enemy units, such as Imperial Knights or Baneblades. And finally, like every race, the Tau do have their legendary commanders and mighty heroes, warriors of renown, such as the legendary tank commander Longstrike, who does benefit from the prototype XV-02 battlesuit, which means Longstrike's gunship treats the number of Markalite counters on an enemy unit affected by the Markalite's ability as being 1 higher. A no doubt helpful bonus, and potentially powerful if the Markalite table has been improved. Furthermore, Longstrike provides bonuses to hit for hamhead gunships, which while not explained in full, I'd expect to be the usual 6-inch reroll 1s bubble. This could be a strong reason to include a spearhead detachment of hammerheads, especially if there is a kill shot like stratagem available in the Tau Codex. And that's everything, guys. If you like the sound of the new Tau Empire and are interested in picking up the new Codex, it is available to pre-order now over on the Games Workshop web store and is released on Saturday, March 17th. This has been First Look Tau Empire, and if you enjoyed this Tactica video and you'd like me to make more for future Codex releases, then let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to give it a like. I certainly enjoyed making it, and I hope you enjoyed watching it. Don't forget also that if you enjoy 40k and love the hobby, you should definitely check out our Vox Chatter podcast. Every other week we discuss the game, share some laughs and have a great time enjoying the hobby together, and we'd love it if you joined us. Simply click the link on screen now. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel for more 40k content like this and hit that notification bell so you'll never miss a new video from me. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.